a scheme that was widespread, well above the Clintons. I'm not suggesting that they were the scheme, but I'm saying there are so many people that are trafficked, the human trafficking and sexual exploitation, particularly of young women and young boys as well, it's pervasive. It's far too pervasive. And you've got to be able to figure out how to put together legislation, hold people accountable, because as you mentioned, Martha, Jeffrey Epstein probably should have been prosecuted, 10, 15 years ago. There was probably enough evidence back then. How is it that it was covered up for so long?
Yeah, it's a great question. And the original process in Florida, under which he got a prostitution with a minor charge when there were much larger charges that were part of that case, is also one of the big questions here. But thanks to reporting of the Miami Herald, this continues to open up. And you're right, the victims here are these young women, many of them. And there's just one last thing I want to say here. There's a reason why you see posters all over every airport you go through, giving people a phone number to call if they're being trafficked, if they're being brought through that airport with someone who they don't want to be with and are being forced to be with. There's a reason for that. And so hopefully some good comes from this in terms of enlightening everybody on how horrific the trafficking situation is. Thanks to both of you, Jason Chaffetz, Doug Schoen.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again soon. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get to this very big story right now. The latest round of talks between the United States and Iran have concluded. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, reportedly, quote, disappointed by the morning session, according from Axios. Oman is mediating these negotiations and says technical talks are set for next week in Vienna, the home of the UN's nuclear watchdog, the IAEA. We spoke to their director here, Rafael Grossi, last week about what all of that would look like. Now, President Trump sending what he calls a huge armada of U.S. warships. It is the largest assembly of war power from the United States since before the Iraq War. Just take a look at what this looks like in terms of what these waterways are full of with American firepower right now. The president has warned that really bad things will happen. This is his warning to Iran if they don't cut a deal. Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Ying's live in Tel Aviv, and Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin in Washington. Great to have both of you with us. Trey, what is your sense of how these talks have gone in Geneva and what this buildup in the whole region, including in Israel, looks like?
Martha, good afternoon. It's a great question. And according to Oman's foreign minister, the man who was mediating these indirect conversations today in Geneva, Switzerland, there was significant progress made, and technical details, according to the foreign minister, are going to be discussed next week in Austria. We've heard this cautious optimism before, and that's why you see this massive military buildup across the region. And here in Israel, officials preparing for the possibility that war erupts in the days ahead. And so while there is initial optimism, and the Iranians are telling their state media outlets that they will go back to the capital of Tehran and discuss the technical details, there is still a tension in the air across the Middle East. Understanding that it disappeared. The region is headed into conflict.
What I got.
Jennifer, what is your sense from Pentagon sources? Obviously, they are ready, and potentially a comparison to what we saw in Venezuela, and what signs we can read right now about where this is going.
Well, I think what I'm looking at right now are a few things. First of all, the Gerald R. Ford Aircraft Carrier Strike Group, which everybody's been watching. It was in Suda Bay, Crete, getting resupply, getting munitions. It is now moving east toward Israel, and it will be in position off the coast of Israel tomorrow. Then we also have the F-22s. The F-22s, another squadron, was moved on Tuesday from Lakenheath in the UK to Israel. It's the first time F-22s have ever been based in Israel, and it suggests that that is a location that they would be safer than if they were at other locations across the Gulf, where typically the U.S. would keep its warplanes. So there is a positioning of assets so that if the president takes a decision following these talks, a decision that the talks have failed, then there would be a massive air and naval campaign that would likely target not only the three sites, nuclear sites that they targeted last summer, but also the IRGC. It's not clear whether this is about regime change. We've heard very confusing messages from the Secretary of State and even Steve Witkoff in recent days, suggesting that it's also about the ballistic missiles, that Steve Witkoff says that Iran is a week away from having a nuclear bomb. That is not the case based on intelligence people that I know who are familiar with the intelligence. But a lot of confused messaging. All eyes still are on Geneva and now Vienna next week for those talks with the IAEA.
All right. Well, great to have you both on board covering this story, and it's one we're watching very closely, obviously, to see what comes next. Jennifer, Becca, and Trey Yanks, thank you very much. Good to see you both. So right now, the woman putting social media companies on trial for an alleged addiction to what her side terms digital poison is on the stand. Attorney Josh Ritter, live outside the courthouse, tells us what's going on in there as she testifies right now. We'll be right back.
The volume. Go ahead. Crank the volume. We got you. USPS has increased daily package processing capacity by 46% in the past 5 years. And with USPS Ground Advantage, your packages stay in our secure network, dock to door, nationwide, for full visibility, near real-time tracking, affordable pricing, for peace of mind. USPS Ground Advantage.
Look at this. Endless big butterfly shrimp for us, endless steak for them.
Oh, did you know that buffet is French for happy wallet?
I take German.
Well, amigo, you just got schooled in buffet economics. You and a
Most pet food looks like this, but not the farmer's dog. It looks like real food because it is real food, made to human grade standards, then gently cooked to give your dog the nutrients they need without the ultra processed. Because good ingredients matter, but the best recipes go for so much more. Get 50% off your first box, available only at thefarmersdog.com.
Hi, folks. I'd like to tell you about YRefi. Did you know that as an accredited investor, when you invest in YRefi, your interest rate is fixed? And did you know you can invest from 1 to 5 years and you can spread your investment over those terms to best suit your needs? And you have the freedom to take your monthly interest as income or reinvest it, whatever you choose. When you invest in YRefi, your interest is calculated daily and you're paid monthly. Would you like some more information? Just call 877-80-INVEST or log on to investyrrefi.com. That's investyrrefi.com. For complete details, make sure to review the private placement memorandum and scan this QR code to view the disclosures at your convenience. YRefi, investing in America's future. And this is Larry Ellis.
My dad has never been in better shape. He had a stroke and passed away. He had a life insurance policy. Ethos.com. In 10 minutes, you can be covered with life insurance.
Check your price today at ethos.com.
What's up?
We got an APB on a group of handmaidens consorting with a pack of elementary school teachers, a trio of podcast detectives, and a gang of alien predators. That doesn't sound right.
Pretty sure you're talking about all the great shows and hit movies on Hulu, which are also included at no extra cost with Spectrum TV.
You know, I don't watch cop shows, but if I did, I would watch this guy.
Stream The Rookie on Hulu, included at no extra cost with Spectrum TV.
Seriously, the more I look at it, the more I can't look away.
Want to advertise to sports fans? Get ready, because they're all over the field. They watch every sport, game, match, race, series, tourney, final, and championship. Big screens, little screens, platforms, networks, TV, and streaming. So how do you reach them? Check out Spectrum Reach. They bring all of that together in one place, helping advertisers reach fans of every sport, on every screen, in one simple, affordable media buy. Spectrum Reach. We fan together.
Every Sunday night, he can't sleep.
But not this Sunday.
When you really need to sleep, ZQL has no equal. Get the deeply restorative sleep you need. ZQL Pure Z's. Just for sleep, really great sleep.
Getting rid of or burying negative search results so you can make the best first impression. Don't let bad search results define you. Search your name today and let Reputation Defender help you rise to the top.
All right, this is interesting. This afternoon, there has just been